What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Pass. That's Play Action Snap Scouting. And with today's video, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 quarterback prospects for the 2026 NFL Draft. So with the 2026 class, there's not a lot of cream at the top, but there is a lot of depth guys in the mid to later rounds. So for scouting these players, I use a 5-categorical grading rubric based off of intangibles, physical tools, attributes, athleticism, and IQ. And with each of those 5 major categories, there's also 5 subcategories catered to specific positional traits. Using this, along with film, analytics, stats, and other tools, I'm able to come up with the best possible grading system for the players and for you. These 5 quarterback prospects have something that an NFL team desires, whether it's size, whether it's leadership, whether it's an arm or playmaking ability. These are guys that I feel like have a good quarterback projection in the NFL. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at these players, starting with player number 5. At number 5, I have Miller Moss from Louisville. He transferred to the Cardinals this past season, and honestly, I thought he did pretty good. He's a rhythmic, pocket-style quarterback that will get the ball out to his playmakers within the playbook, field general style kind of guy, very high IQ, understands what the defense gives him, is willing to check down for short yardage, to complete the short pass. He doesn't have a lot of ability to create outside of a playbook, but he does have decent athleticism and pocket movement that will allow him to extend plays to an extent. But in reality, he's not going to lose you games. He's a high floor guy, has a lot of experience, very smart, and not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's kind of a quarterback that an NFL team will look at and say, okay, in the right system, we can use him. If he just needs to get the ball out, make the right plays, he will thrive. So for Miller Moss, I have him as my quarterback 5 in this draft class. At number 4, I have Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. He stayed with the program, didn't transfer, and he was rewarded for his hard work and dedication to get a starting role in 2024, and that continued into 2025 until he was unfortunately benched later in the season. He has a lot of tangibles for quarterback. He's got NFL blood. He's very smart, able to make good throws, very accurate, plays within the system. Kind of a very much so a traditional pocket style quarterback, doesn't have a lot of athleticism or ability to create outside the pocket, but has a good enough arm that he can make the throws. The thing with Garrett Nussmeier is, again, he's a high floor guy, can be a little sporadic sometimes and test coverages in a kind of a gunslinging mentality. But if you can, as an NFL team, take that and kind of calm him down and be able to just have him operate within the system, he'll do fine. He's got the reps, he's got the experience, he's got the IQ. I feel like Garrett Nussmeier is a high floor guy that in the right system, he can operate and do things well. So at number 4, I have Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. At number 3, I have Drew Allar from Penn State. Probably the biggest quarterback in terms of height, but also in terms of weight. Yet when you watch him play, he actually runs really well for a guy his size. Definitely involved in the pass game as a quarterback, but also very heavily involved in the run game as well at Penn State. Of course, underwent the coaching changes and also had a season-ending injury that costed him the rest of the 2025 season. But when you look at him from an NFL perspective, he's got the traits. He's got the size. He's got the mobility. He's got the big arm, though you wish he'd be a little bit more accurate with his shots. Of course, there's going to be knocks against him of being able to operate against top opponents. I think that Drew Allar has a ton of potential. He's a Josh Allen type of quarterback that if you work with him on the accuracy and take the things that he does well and put him in a system that's able to allow him to do those things, he'll do really, really good. It might not be right away, but he definitely has a very high upside in my opinion. So at number 3, Drew Allar. And at number 2, I did have Dante Moore from Oregon at this spot until he decided to go back to college. So moving on up on the number 2 spot is Ty Simpson from Alabama. For now, he's a guy that got his shot this season after sitting at Alabama for a couple years within the system. He understands what he needs to do in order to operate the system. He's a very calculated risk taker, in my opinion. I think he has a lot of tools. He's kind of gutsy and is able to get the ball vertically pressed. I do think that he's got a athleticism to be able to move and escape and improvise, but he's not necessarily a heavy dual threat guy. He's really more of a inside the pocket gunsling, press the ball down the field. I'm going to be honest though, Ty Simpson to me is probably the reason why I have this spot so up for grabs right now is because I'm not sold on Ty Simpson being the number 2 best quarterback in this class. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he has demonstrated some good things on tape, but also the end of his season against Georgia and against Indiana really had me questioning if he's able to operate against an NFL defense. I do think that as the offseason progresses, I think that his stock could potentially go down, in my opinion. But for right now, I have him at number 2. I think he might need a year behind someone to be able to fully grasp the NFL offense. But he definitely has some things that you look at tape and say, okay, I can work with that. So with that being said, at number 2, for now, is Ty Simpson. And at number 1, I have Mr. Heisman himself, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He transferred from Cal, and honestly, I think that was the best decision he made in college, going to a system with Cignetti and being able to operate with some really great receivers and a great offense and a great team. He's had tremendous success within the system. He's a guy that has the best precision on a ball I've ever seen in a long time. He puts the ball where the defender can't catch it, but his receiver can. And his accuracy is insane. His just knowledge, understanding, and growth of the offense has truly impressed me throughout the season. Even against really good competition through this playoffs, I think his stock keeps going up and up. And I think he keeps solidifying himself. The more he plays, the more he keeps solidifying himself as the best quarterback in this draft class. Now, he does have his flaws. He's not the most mobile, right? He really is kind of a pocket passer first kind of guy. He only will scramble if that's his only option and he can get a first down. But he's definitely a high floor guy who, within the right system and probably a West Coast quick game, being able to dial up some play action passes and has receivers that can get some separation, he's going to be able to do just fine. And I think that he has a really, really high floor and a really good NFL career ahead of him. Again, he's a really great quarterback. He's my number 1 guy right now. I don't see that changing for the future. But knowing what I know now, I think that he is a guy that has really grown this season, and I really look forward to seeing him progress in his NFL career. So with that being said, those are my top 5 quarterback prospects for the 2026 NFL Draft. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that I got it right? Do you guys have questions or concerns, or do you think that someone else should be on this list? I have a couple guys that would be honorable mentions, including Cade Klubnik from Clemson. Really great player. I just think he's a little sporadic at times. He's very inconsistent. If you get Cade Klubnik at his peak at Clemson, you're getting a top 3 guy. But right now, he kind of scares me with his decision-making and being able to operate in an NFL system. I do have questions of that. Trinidad Chambliss, I mean, what can be said? He's had a tremendous season going from the D2 Ferris State champs to almost leading Ole Miss to a national championship without missing a beat. Like, he looks natural out there throwing the ball. I just have still some concerns and questions about, the experience part of it. But he's a guy I could see driving up draft boards, including my own. Carson Beck, going to be in the national championship game for Miami, transferred from Georgia. I think he's a guy that, again, a very high floor guy. You know what you're getting. He's got a lot of experience. He's a game manager, can operate within that system. Not going to really create a lot outside of that, but, you're going to have to live with when he's at his peak, he does really, really well. And there's other times where he's going to have a game or two where you really scratch your head and say, what is he doing? But those are all guys that, I think that have potential too. They just didn't make the cut of this list. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share.